Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Head shave time, face shave will come after this as always, and I've been using Frank shaving brushes for the last few shaves, probably the last couple of weeks really, since I received the first one with the silver tip in it. Now I've used a Manchurian badge knot, which I didn't know it was Manchurian here at the time, and the little silver handle, but it was a fantastic knot. It was really nice, and it was really as good as anything I've used in all honesty, other than maybe it wasn't quite as luxuriously dense as some of those knots like Iridium and Morrison 400 and Declaration Grooming Simpson, but it was a fantastic knot, lovely tips, created a great lather, and it released the lather well, which is really important. So I'm moving on to a different brush today, but I'll get onto that in a second. This is the soap that I will be smashing on my head, Washington by Heritage Hill Shaving Company, and this one is it's pretty much, to my nose, a little bit like a barbershop. I think this might be the barbershop scent, but it's got tobacco, bay, jasmine, patchouli, sweet orange and fir needle. There's the scent notes on the bottom there. I'm assuming that's George Washington on the front on a horse. I don't really know American history. But anyway, fantastic scented soap, not very strong. It's sat in my drawer for a while now, and I think the scent strength has dipped a little bit, just sat in the drawer. So that's a little bit disappointing, but sometimes that's what happens. So I'm just going to get the water out of the soap that's been sitting on it. Rub that on my head just to get started. It's a fantastic soap. You get a lot of soap as well. Let me see the weight on here. Has it got the weight on the side here? 6 ounces of soap. That's a lot of soap. I know, I can't remember. They're not even that expensive. Oh, really nice scent. It's opened up a little bit since I put that warm water on, which is good. Right, the brush is this. It's a bit like a sort of beehive type style. I don't know what they call it. They call it a beehive? Red and black. Now, I'm guessing this is all resin. There's a lot of weight to this handle. The red looks like resin. The black to me looks a bit like just jet black cheap plastic, but that's what it looks like. But I think it is resin. It's got the FS logo on the bottom there, Frank Shaving, and it's got I'm not sure how big that knot is. It's a good size knot. I think maybe 28mm. Maybe around about that, 28mm. Now the glue bump is there. It's sticking miles up. I just want it. I know you should never really stick your finger in there like that, but so the glue bump is only that far down the knot. So it's a lot of glue bump in there, and what it does is it gives it just way too much spring and way too much backbone. The tips on this brush are relatively soft, they're reasonably soft. I wouldn't say they're the worst I've ever felt, but they're definitely by far not the best. So we'll get it dipped in the water, get it loaded up. Yeah, this is a lot of soap. It'll be great for loading because there's so much backbone. You can really dig it down into the soap. I've just had a shower, so I'm looking forward to this. I've got a few parcels that I'm sending out. One's pretty much a gift, another one's a trade, and one's a sale. This is going to be far too much soap, but I'll stuff it. There's loads of it in this tub. You can certainly go to town with it. I like that feeling on that soap as well. It's silky smooth. Just soak that a little bit, get rid of some of the... But do you know what, I might just leave a little bit of that water on top of the soap for my face shave. That's probably a good idea. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll soon find out. So here we go. Reasonably nice handle to hold. Now I'm going to ask a question in this video, the same question I'm going to ask in my face shaving video. For those of you out there that have used Frank shaving brushes, what's your thoughts on the handles? I've been on the website, I've spoken to Frank about this, so Ming as he's known on Instagram, quite at length about it. The a bit boring. They're a bit, I don't really, I'd probably say they look a bit cheap. Now at the moment, whether anyone's aware or not, or whether he wants people to know, I'm assuming he's an open book. All of his brushes are CNC machined on a machine, so these aren't hand turned. So when you buy a Frank shaving brush, you're not getting the expertise and labour that goes into it from a seasoned lathe turner or anything like that. You're getting a brush that goes on a machine, spins around, the little tools go in, cut all the shapes in it that they want via a machine or a electronic process, and you end up with this. The polishing process, I don't know whether that's different. I must admit the polishing process on his handles is excellent. There's literally no flaws on any of the 3 handles that I've got so far. The metal handle that I have is a chrome plated alloy. And what that means is I've got no idea what's underneath it, you know, if it was brass or something like that, but it sounds like it's probably just like a zinc alloy or something like that along those lines. So once again, a reasonably cheap material that's been chrome plated. Now obviously this feeds into the fact that his brushes, or Frank shaving brushes, aren't very expensive considering the knot that you get. Now that 25mm Manchurian knot that I've got, you can buy that brush in Australia for $79.99 Australian dollars delivered. Now that's great value for money for a knot that in my opinion is up there with the best hand tied knots on the market. Now I don't know whether these are fully hand tied knots or not, but the hair that's in it is as good as anything I've used. I'm led to believe that Frank Shaving also sends his hair abroad to Europe and the USA for other people that make knots. I don't know what company it is or who it is. Right, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this brush now. I've just spoken about everything else. Actually, my question was, what do you think of Frank Shaving handles? I've been on the website, I've checked every handle out on that website, and nothing jumps out at me as something that I would personally purchase. You know, I've been sent 3 brushes now. I think he's going to send me another one, maybe another couple. Now I'm reviewing pretty much as I get it. That's a nice enough looking handle. It looks a little bit cheap, and the knot is surprisingly good for a head shave. I'm not expecting it to be great for a face shave, but for a head lather, wow. Plenty of scrub. My head's nowhere near as sensitive as my face, and as you can see, it has whipped up a fantastic lather. Seriously good lather. I cannot fault that. That's beautiful. So that knot for a head shave or a head lather is spot on. It's actually very good. We'll see how it goes in the face shave. I'm not expecting it to be in the face shave. It might surprise me. I might have toughened up in the time, but we'll soon see. The leaf razor. I've got a snapped Polsilver Super Iridium in there. There's only 2 blades, 2 half blades in there. I don't use 3 anymore. I don't really need it. This is the older style handle with the older style label on it, logo on it. The plating on this leaf shaver is pretty average. It comes off quite easily. Just sitting in a cupboard, it comes off. They do okay, but they're not great. I'm hoping that is the latest models they're bringing out now. I've got a much better process for it. I'm just going to go straight against the grain here because I've only got 2 days growth. And with these blades in here, this should be relatively smooth and carefree. So the thing I like about the leaf is how it collects lather. Let's just shut that, that's getting a bit loud. See the leaf just peels through here. Fantastic razor. You know, it's not a perfect razor. I watched Ken Surf use one recently. I don't know how recently it was. I watched one of Ken Surf's videos using it on his face, and he does a fantastic job on a face shave with it. I struggle with it on a face shave. It just doesn't feel quite right to me. It feels too bulky. But for head shaving, it's as good as anything. I mean, is it better than look how thick that lather is. Is it better than a cartridge razor? I'd probably say no. I don't think it's better than I wouldn't say it's better than the head blade, and I wouldn't say it's better than the skin guard. But it's not far behind. It's very, very close. I do find every now and then that I do have a terrible shave with this razor. For whatever reason. I don't know whether it's because I have a reaction to the soaps or whatever. Sometimes it just leaves me leaking quite a lot of blood, which obviously isn't great. Let's just, yeah, for a first pass, that was excellent. So I'm just going to get the brush again and just sort of lather up again. I don't really need to re-lather, but this is a sort of review or first use on the brush. So I'm really trying to showcase what the brush is all about. And to be fair, it's done a fantastic job on the head lather. I think that extra bit of scrub, that bit of spring, has done a great job of allowing the lather to grow really well. Right, there's not much hair left. I'm just going to go just do it all over again, and hopefully it will catch it all now. Just lather coming off now. See, what I'm doing here is shaving my head in bits that don't actually need to be shaved. Which isn't a great idea because it ends up with irritation, and I can actually feel it irritating the back of my head already. So tiny little bit there. What way is that going? It's going that way. Wow. Right, now I already know that I've got some irritation at the back of my head. I've got quite a lot of raised bumps. Now that could be the soap, could be the brush. I can't feel it so much now, which is good. It seems like it's calmed down a little bit with the cold water. Just rinse the brush out. That's sort of dry. Yeah, look, I don't know whether you can see that on the side of my head. There's quite a lot of spotting there. Got a little bit on this side as well. And I think I got that from the second pass. It wasn't the first pass. Now, there's two explanations. It could be from the soap irritation, which maybe, I don't know. It could be, do you know what? Look at this knot. You probably cannot see that. it's so dark in there. It's all tangled inside the middle. It's not a great knot, it really isn't. Right, done and dusted. Yeah, there's a bit of blood there. Yeah, and on the back of the head as well. Not a great shave. Felt okay. I could feel that bit of irritation the second time round. It could have been the soap, could have been the brush, could have been the blades. I don't quite know. Until I change one, I won't really figure out what one it was, or what couple it was. But anyway, Washington from Heritage Hill Shaving Company. Fantastic scent, fantastic performing soap. Lathers up really, really easily. And it does the job, you know, it's slick, it's protective. I just don't know whether that's caused that, I don't know. It feels very hydrated. My skin actually feels really nice and soft, so the soap's done its part. The brush has got a lot of scrub, really a lot of scrub. It's got not very soft tips, but as you saw, for a head lather, it makes a great lather. And it's got a good bit of weight to it. It's just not a great knot. I think the glue bump's far too high. It's very, very springy, very, very scrubby. It's not scritchy or scratchy, it's just scrubby. So it's not like it's actually prickling into your skin, it just feels like almost like a very soft Brillo pad on your skin. That sounds horrible, but that's what it sort of feels like a little bit. It's not a bad looking handle, but it's not a great looking handle. I think Frank Shaving need to up the game. I've seen what Uomo are doing now. Yaki Shaving is chucking out some good ones, and really none of them are even competing with the best artisans in the world. So if he can bring his handles up to the quality of his Manchurian knots and his silver tip knots, he's going to be one of the players in the market, that's for sure. The leaf razor, fantastic shaver, but like I said before, sometimes I just have a shit shave with it. This could be one of them, or maybe just have had a shit shave, I don't know. It feels lovely and soft though, so we'll see how we go. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.